Hey Mick, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. So here we are again, both launching Kickstarters, and you've got a new book coming out, and I'm just really excited to talk about it today.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear about all the stuff you're doing too. I mean, I see all the goodies on the table. Looks like it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get our projects going and just open it up to the world.
Yeah, I think with Renaissance festivals and craft fairs opening, you've got a big circuit where you're traveling around selling signed copies of your book, and I
Yep.
appreciate that you bring some of my castles along, and sell those too. So look at the latest stuff I've been making. These colored pools have like a shiny, they're like magical pools, and you can see
Yeah.
through them, and you put them on your gaming table over the top of your map and stuff, and those are just super epic.
Yeah. That's very cool. I can picture them sitting on my table at my shows right now because right now what I do is I set up your dungeons and especially like the little torches that you make for the walls
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
the little
They,
torches.
yeah.
They come with little tiny lights and little columns, and
Yeah, those are amazing. People, I mean, they immediately beeline right to that stuff. It's like it's a great little marketing piece. They come up, they talk about the lights, and then I can, introduce my books and all the fantasy stuff. Because me and you are kind of think the same about stuff as far as fantasy and adventure, things like that. So it's kind of nice having the best of both worlds. My books and my games and things like that really, help, get the imagination going. And your games, this is how you get into it as a reader or player or
mhm.
whatever. So yeah, it's
So
exciting.
tell me more about Outlaw Book 4.
Well, for those who haven't heard of the series before, it's about a rogue. This is book one. I'm going to hold up book one. I don't probably get a lot of reflection on it. Um,
Yeah, I can see myself.
oh, so I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Maybe I can
That's
zoom
good.
in.
Yeah.
But it's about this outlaw character. He's traveling around the unremembered realms. He's keeping a journal of all his adventures. Usually, I have about 100 journal entries per book, and the humor is clean enough for the whole family, but it's not little kiddish, So it's like if you dig Blackadder or Monty Python, you're gonna dig the series, and it's got that type of humor to it. And over the years, I've been writing it. It's been building a huge fan base. It just keeps growing. And one of my one of the questions I get from my fans is, when will you write a book that is one story, not just journal entries?
Mhm.
And I like my journal entry formula. I think it's neat. I think it's original, and I'm going to stick to it. But for this one book, Journal of an Outlaw, book four, my newest book, I decided I'm going to make it, as many have requested, the one story. So it's called The Longest Tale. And it's the story of how my
Okay.
outlaw character uh, is adventuring around the unremembered realms chasing a coin that he loses. And I'm not going to get into too much of what happens, but if you're a reader of the books already, I tell you what, this is probably the best thing I've ever written, and you are just going to laugh your
Cool. Cool.
behind off. So
So, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and so we read Journal of an Outlaw Book 1, and she got some of the jokes because, there's jokes about farts, and it's just great. And it's not, doesn't have any subjects that I wouldn't, want to expose my kids to. So it's like all in good fun and good humor. And there's some really funny stuff like the Mifton Mad Mountains and the way you name your different cities. And
yeah, I try to make everything pronounceable. One of the things that I do when I write is I've read books like I had a girlfriend way back in the day, and she loved Russian fantasy novels, and everybody's name was Gazalskum, and I was like, and they went up the mountain, and Gazals Harvey said this, you know.
right.
So I thought, well, in my books, I'm going to have fun, unpronounceable names that can be double entendres for something else or whatever. And like I said, there's no dirty humor in it, and I don't get into politics or religion, just straight up, pun humor with absurd situations. I don't know if anybody's a fan of the Young Ones or Blackadder, like I said, from England, but I really model my humor after that. I love good English humor. Mr. Bean.
It does have a sense of that Monty Python-esque, tongue-in-cheek, like the Haktu Mountains,
Yeah.
You don't have to explain to my 8-year-old why the Haktu Mountains are funny.
But it sounds like a name that could be real, not just
and then
a clear.
Every time you get to it, you're like the Haktu Mountains, and then you spit it out, and it just gets more funny every time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out on Kickstarter. Hopefully in a couple weeks. I've got a current Kickstarter that's finishing out. It's called The Die of Destiny. I made a dice for gamers, which was my son got a Magic 8-ball, and he was
right,
like,
I remember those.
Yeah, and he was asking it tons of questions, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a fantasy-based one for Dungeons and Dragons, or any role-playing game like that. And then I thought, because I looked into getting the balls made and all this stuff, and I thought, well, what does it need a ball for? You just take the dice and roll it. So
right.
I ended up doing that, putting it on Kickstarter. It got funded, and right now I'm waiting for supplies to come in. And as soon as I mail them out, I'm launching Journal of an Outlaw Book 4. So
Sounds great.
Yeah, and if anybody's watching this, you just go to the UnRememberedRealms.com website, and that'll hook you up with my Facebook and all the other stuff that I do. So that'll help.
Unremembered Realms.
Yep.
We'll remember that.
Yeah.
So I pledged and got myself a die because, if I'm running a game and someone asks, one of the players is like, oh, I want to ask the wizard, will we find the magical sword? And, the dungeon master can be like, just get that special die, roll it.
Right.
That remains to be seen.
Right.
Or you're on the right path. Or can you tell me what some of the other sides of the dice said?
Oh, there's you can roll it, and there's no XP for this combat. You can roll it, right. There's double damage. You can roll it, you can fumble your weapon, things like that. So it's very handy for a DM to, have in a situation. Look at, you find this magical treasure, and
maybe it's cursed, or maybe you're blessed. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. It's 50% chance it's going to be good. So I thought that'd be a handy little tool and add a little spice to the game.
I like those new things that people come up with because, it's nice to have a surprise and to try some homebrew rules and mess around with it a little bit. Because, then the players get bored if it's always just like, but on page 42 it says we have to do this. Well, the dungeon master can throw in these interesting physical things at the table, that right. You can hold. Here's the die of destiny. Do you want to ask the die of destiny? Then you roll it. So they've never heard of that before. It's right. Unique.
And I think it'll be a really fun little product to add to my table when I'm doing shows. And if people are watching this, if you go to unrememberedrealms.com, I have a schedule. And you can actually come see me at a lot of these shows. Thank God there's a lot of shows opening back up. I do a lot of craft shows on top of Renaissance festivals. I've been to a lot of malls last year because the mall stayed open for a lot of this. And, wearing my mask and everything like that. So, so if you look at my schedule on that website, you'll be able to find me and I'm all over Michigan. I'm trying to venture down more into Ohio and Indiana. But this year's kind of difficult because of everything going on. I had 2 Indiana shows booked and now they're gone. So,
okay.
But it'll be
they'll come back, and I'm looking forward to the fall when, we can go to Renaissance festivals, and I know there's a big one in Michigan, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at that.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that's a go. There is one that's a go that's in Lake Orion.
Mm-hmm.
at the Canterbury Village. That's in June. I'll be at that for sure, and hopefully you'll come to that.
Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to Games for Life in Lake Orion because they sell some of these cool Drakenstone tiles. You can stop in and check out a box of them, lay them out on the table, or even just play a D&D game there and use my tiles. They're there at the store. So shout out to that game store.
Yeah, and your pieces are getting bigger and bigger. I heard you just got like this really big order in for
so
custom pieces.
you can't see it because like the camera angle's not wide enough to show the whole table. But I got a special commission from my friend Douglas for 13 more new rooms, and it's called the Crucible of Golems, and it's a special map that he's doing for his gaming group, and they're going to have a custom-made magnetic. Okay, camera, be ye further forward. Here it is. These are some of the rooms that I'm making for the Crucible of Golems. Look at that. It's like an octagon.
Yeah,
thing,
that's
and
a little bit different than your normal pieces that you normally make.
These are all brand new pieces. I have 13 new rooms that are coming out. I now have rooms that are only 1 inch wide as opposed to 2 inches wide. And then this room in the middle is just one big, huge room. So you can put as many of these next to each other as you want. You can make a 7 by 7 room, 14 by 14 room, a 21 by 21 room, a 49 by 49 room. It's just all modular. So I'm just really excited to show that off. He gets the first copy, though.
And they magnetically click together, so it's easy peasy,
The magnets are a big hit. In fact, I wanted to show you my new Kickstarter, and it's also based on magnets, and this is coming out this week. I've got these magnet blocks.
Okay.
And whoa, there it goes. You lay them out on the table, okay, and they stick together. And if you have a grid mat, dry erase grid mat, or a gaming paper, then this is perfect because you just lay them out along the grid.
Right.
And you play your game, and then at the end, you just throw them back into the bag. They fit. They come in like a little dice bag, right? Like a drawstring bag. And for $20, you can get yourself all these different rooms that you make out of the magnetic blocks. And it comes with a deck of cards that's like a whole map library, right? And there's different ones. You got your straight ones. You got, there's the octagon set. There's a circular tower set. There's a mansions set for doing like a haunted mansion. So there's all these different expansions.
That sounds good. It sounds better than just drawing on a piece of dry erase there.
Mm-hmm.
It gives it a little flavor, kind of makes, when you're setting your figures down, they're not just, sitting there. It's a sense of direction. It can give you line of sight, things like that.
Yeah.
So you know that your arrows will actually, it's in there. I can see it, with my naked eye. I don't have to get out the little straight edge and try to figure things out.
So my thoughts are, there's like these two extremes in gaming and D&D. One is you buy all these elaborate stackable magnetic things that go together, and you spend hundreds of dollars on one room, and you build these elaborate things, and people enjoy that. But then there's other people that are just like, I've got a dry erase grid mat, you got a marker, here's a tree, this is the door, the room shaped like this, your turn. And it's fast, and it works great. But here's the cool thing in between those two extremes. If you got your dry erase grid mat, instead of just going, here's a tree, here's a door, here's the stairs, what if there was actual bricks and you could see the walls, sticks up from the table a little bit, so it's more 2.5D than 3D. You can build yourself a room in, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Right.
And then you can play the game. So you don't have to spend all day setting up. And then you
don't need a moving van to carry all the dungeon pieces.
It fits in a dice bag.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do something big, buy 3.
Right. So I have all these different shapes I can show you. I've got X's, L's, T's, octagon, circle. You can build any kind of shape you want.
And that's really, really solid material too. I've got some of it, and it's just, man, you ain't breaking that stuff.
It's made out of the same stuff as the dice jail. It's that gray resin,
right?
As hard as a rock.
And it won't melt in the sun.
Yeah, they won't all stick together if you leave them in the back of your car or whatever. Anyways, so that's what the Kickstarter is going to be. And of course, you can do an add-on and add on any of these other, the inn or the other things that you like about Drakenstone. You can add in an arena if you want to add that in. So all the other products are also available as add-ons, but it's really the magnetic blocks that people want to see this time.
And there's just so much, and if people come to my table, they're going to see a lot of this stuff. They can come to my shows. I can talk to them. I can give them your information. I carry your cards with me.
Yeah, and, cool. There it is.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is, if you're a fan of this stuff, is to go get your website, bookmark it, and when you get a little bit of money, there you go. It's Christmas time all year round.
There you go. DrakenStone.com is where you go to buy all these little things. I do sell on eBay and Etsy too, and I've been working on making some things available on Amazon, but right now it's just eBay and Etsy and my own store on the website. Okay, this is what it looks like when they walk by your booth and the dungeon lights light up.
Yeah, people love that. People love it. I mean, when you see it in real life and you have figures standing next to it, it's beautiful. It really is.
I've got over 100 figures I'm doing now. So from Ice Dragon to here's a clear Snake Lord. And then check out some of these guys. These are all different figures you can get in my product catalog. So I've got knights. I've got the whole inn and tavern setup with little patrons that are drinking beer mugs. And then here's the waitress. She's serving the drinks. So
you get a lot of these side characters, these NPCs, And we can't forget that you've been working on the figures for the journal. There's the Outlaw.
Man, he came out great.
Yeah, he did. Just an amazing job. And I'm going to have these available at my table as well, along with some other stuff that you've created for me.
Yeah, the Outlaw bust, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, people are going to love that.
I printed some more of those for you. I'll send them to you. And I've got some more dice jails on the way.
Oh, and if anybody's watching, I'm going to be in the Grand Rapids area next week at Woodland Mall. I'll be down a hallway somewhere. I've never been there, but I'm going to be there, and I'll be having some of this stuff with me. So if you're interested in this, if you want to check it out and hold it in your hands, I mean, that's the day to do it. And then in April, I'll be in Shepherd, Michigan for their Maple Festival. So I'll be there for 3 days, Friday through Sunday, just demonstrating all the stuff. I'll probably have a lot more stuff there because I'll be in my tent, and hopefully it's not going to rain.
So if people come see you at that Woodland Mall at your booth there, and they want to pick up a Journal of the Outlaw book, so they can get it signed by the author, yours truly, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll sign everything. I even sign my games. This is a copy of one of my games, the Forbidden Treasure of Miftenmad, and it's a lot like Yahtzee meets Dungeons and Dragons. It's one of my most popular items. I mean, people play it all the time. And one of the cool things about my games is like they come with these game pads. I'll pull one out here. This is a game pad that's from the game. And I offer these as PDFs on my website. So when you buy the game, you never have to buy the pads again. You just go right to the website, download new player sheets, and you're ready to go.
Hey, yeah, it's like a Yahtzee sheet where you keep track of your score.
Yep. So I've got that. I've got a couple other games, and I've got so many new projects coming out this year. I think if you go to my website and you're following me and join my newsletter club there, I'll keep you updated on when my new Kickstarters come out. Yeah, and you see all the stuff. I got so much stuff. It seems like I got at least 3 Kickstarters going for the rest of the year. So that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll probably do 3 or maybe 4 this year if I have time. I'm not going to tell you what the next one is yet. You have to wait and be surprised.
Yeah. And we got surprises we're putting out there for people. They just got to keep their eyes open.
Here's my next surprise. So I've got these stackable buildings, okay? I'm fully licensed by Dottie Dungeons out of Italy to make these stackable. It's like the vampire's mansion is basically what it is. It has these little statues on the outside and stairways, and it's like Strahd's castle, basically.
Yeah.
And they all just kind of go together and stack up. And it can be as big or as small as you want. You can make like one little room, or you can make it go all the way across the table. And, the stuff's not going to break on you. It's just printed all as one piece. There's no glue here. It's just came off the 3D printer looking just like that. So,
yeah.
What do you think?
That is gorgeous. I like the color. It has that, you can paint it too all you want.
You can paint it if you want to, but it looks pretty awesome in black. Or if you just want to do like a white dry brush against it, it can make it look all old, or you can put some vines along the side or whatever. But even if you're not that creative or you don't have time to do little tiny details like that, it just looks epic in straight black.
Yeah.
So that's available on my website right now.
Yeah, I love the statues on top. Very cool.
Cool. Well, I think we're out of time for today, but let's do this again soon whenever we have our next Kickstarter, and good luck on Journal of an Outlaw Book 4.
Yeah, good luck on your upcoming stuff too. I think people are, just give me a couple weeks. We're going to have this Journal of an Outlaw going, and there's going to be so much humor in it and funniness in it that I think people are just going to, it's probably the best thing I've ever written. I say that about every book, but I'm telling you.
You say that now, and then I can't wait till book 5.
Exactly. It just keeps getting better. The world keeps growing. The Unremembered Realms is something I started. I wanted to build a world. It wasn't just a book, it's a world. And the world is expanding and growing with every book. And I think all books should be like that. And, especially fantasy adventure. And they usually get that way, but no, I've got a lot of side characters. My Scales in the Marsh Tones music project.
The CD, yeah.
Yeah, and it just keeps growing and growing, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So, I think people are really going to dig this as it keeps going.
Sounds great. Well, I can't wait to read Journal of an Outlaw Book 4, and let's do another meeting like this next time. We'll show off what's coming up maybe next month.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Mick, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.